Hi everybody, welcome. Come on in. Welcome to Jay Jeffers Design Studio. We're gonna have a little bit of chat with him and about his showcase room, and I can't wait to show you, but check this beautiful place out. Everybody, welcome. It's Max Armour of Compass here in San Francisco, and it is my pleasure and honor to introduce Jay Jeffers, the #1 designer in San Francisco, right?
I'll take it.
Jay and I have known each other for quite a while, I would say. And Jay is doing a room in the Decorator Showcase, and so we are here to talk a little bit about Jay, and then we'll talk a little bit about the house and the room that you're doing.
Amazing.
So why don't you introduce yourself and sort of maybe give us a brief introduction of where you're from and how you got here.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Jay Jeffers. My firm is celebrating its 25-year anniversary this year. I can't believe it because I started it very, very young, as you can tell. But we've been in San Francisco the entire time and have done, I think this is our 4th showcase for San Francisco. Very excited about it. I have a small firm of 11 people. We have offices here and in New York and do all kinds of projects from ground up construction to decorating to art curation to everything else. I love design, so anything anybody wants me to do, I pretty much will do it.
25 years.
25.
Congratulations.
I know.
Over the years, why don't you maybe give us a little bit of like trends or styles that have changed over your 25-year career?
It's interesting because I feel like the modern to traditional, back to modern to traditional has been kind of prevalent in San Francisco, but everywhere else really too. And maybe that's my own personal preference. I feel like my style and my taste has evolved over those 25 years, so it's been fun. But we started out doing a little bit more modern work. I was 30 when I started my business, and my clients were kind of at that age too, so they wanted something that was a little bit not like their homes growing up. And then, we just finished a project in Piedmont for some people, and it's much more traditional, but traditional with infusing modern art and making it feel sort of like a fresh traditional for today. So it's been kind of fun.
Yeah, I see a lot of that. The modern art with more, I guess we call it traditional furnishings, goes really well together.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's sort of, it's not that it elevates, it just sort of changes traditional a little bit to make it feel like it's not your grandmother's, house, so to speak.
How do you sort of do the art piece of it? Do you have consultants? Are you the guy? Like, how does that work?
I'm the guy most of the time. If my clients are interested in collecting blue chip pieces, I'm not the guy. I will refer them to an art consultant if they don't have one already. But I love doing art with clients, and most of my clients, they're sort of starting their art collection. So we will begin by going to different galleries in San Francisco. I'll get a sense of what they like and what they don't like. We might pick some things at the time when we're at galleries, and I will continue to monitor galleries and shows and artists and things like that. And we'll kind of gather pieces together during the course of a project. And at the end, when we're installing, we'll bring it all out and try it out. And sometimes my clients have collected and purchased pieces. Sometimes we'll bring things out on approval from different galleries, and they'll try them, which everyone really loves because it is so different when you get it out of a gallery and into your home. It just changes, the art changes completely, and I feel like that's the soul of the home. So I want my clients to be, invested in the pieces that are going on their walls.
So, for somebody who hasn't done a home or, has mostly done their own sort of styling, for somebody maybe, leveling up, how do you sort of work with a client to find, the style and the look and the feel? Because they'll have opinions, you have opinions.
Yeah.
How does that work?
These days, clients are coming to me because they've seen something that I've done and they like it. So it may not be exactly what they want, but there's a similarity in probably our styles. And I really try hard not to imbibe my own style onto them. You know, at the end of the day, this is a project, this is a home that I'm creating for somebody else. I leave and they're gonna live there. I want it to be reflective of who they are as people, you know? And so, you know, those kind of things come with accessories and things that they've collected in travels, small things, not big things, but things that they've collected themselves. You know, family photos. I think so many designers are like, no family photos, but I love doing a big black and white family photo wall, you know, on a second floor kind of thing. Yeah. And that really makes my clients feel like this is their home that I've created for them.
Oh, I love that. Well, let's bring it back to the showcase a bit. This is your fourth? Is that
This is my fourth, 2005, 7, 14, and this one.
Yeah. All right. Well, you haven't done it in a bit.
It's been a while.
So welcome back.
Thank you.
What was the sort of, I don't know, why did you come back now?
The house is great. Yeah. It's wonderful. Jeff D'Souza is a friend of mine and called me and said, hey, you haven't done it in a while. What's going on? So we came and looked at it and saw a room that I thought would be fantastic to work with, and here we are.
Yeah, how did you choose that room?
I narrowed it down to 3, and I had 3 ideas and 3 concepts, and it just came down to this one. I think was my favorite in terms of what we were working with. You know, it's on the second floor. I don't know if you're calling it the second floor, but it's on the floor above the entry-level floor, and it was labeled as a bedroom, but it really lends itself to being a study, you know? So it's kind of a long rectangular room. It has windows on 2 sides. It has a fireplace, but the fireplace is off center. It's not centered in the room, whereas if it was a bedroom, you know, if it was a strong bedroom, I think the fireplace would be centered on the bed, et cetera, et cetera. So it just kind of lended itself to be a fantastic study. And what's more emblematic of a room in a home in this decade that we're in after a pandemic than a study, a home office, you know, that sort of thing.
Everybody wants it now.
Everybody wants it.
And a house
Everybody
like
needs
that,
it.
yeah, exactly. And a house like that is, you have to have it.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my favorite rooms in a house is usually the library study. Yeah. I find them so welcoming and cozy, but also a place where you can really get something done.
Yes, absolutely. And we like for the studies that we do for clients to feel like it's a place for creativity. Even if you're a banker or in finance, you still want to feel good when you're in the room. You want to make other people that are on Zoom calls jealous of your background, you know.
The background thing is, I have mine in my bedroom, so I have to have a fake background.
Yep.
I didn't want that.
Yeah, I know the fake backgrounds. I know the Pelotons in the background. I'm like, we don't do that.
No. Pureness. But you know, with your relationship with the Decorator Showcase, how has that been for you in terms of, you know, creating business and meeting clients? How has that been for you?
It's pretty fantastic. You know, the first one that we did, the house was on the market, it's sold, and the people that bought the house actually hired me to do the rest of the house. Interestingly, they didn't hire me for my room. They hired me because they'd seen a different home, but through a series of circumstances, thanks to the show house, I was hired to do that house. Yeah. So I say I was like batting 1,000 for my first show house. I was very excited about that.
That's amazing.
You know, and over the years it's been great. It's, you know, it's one of those things everybody asks, does it bring you business? I think it brings you business. Sometimes it might be direct, sometimes it might take a year, but everything these days is like, I saw your show house 6 months ago and I saw this on Instagram, or I was at a friend's house and you designed that, and then I remembered you did this room that I loved. So it's kind of all related.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now it's everything, you know, with social media, you can just get it out so much. But this showcase, I do think it's the 45th year they're doing it. So that's a pretty good number.
Yeah.
And this one, I believe, will be the best one we've seen ever.
Yeah.
And it's going to be so excited to see what everybody does. And I guess the next phase of this conversation is, why don't we take a look at your sort of mood board and go a little bit deeper into your inspiration for the room and what your design philosophy is all about.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. All right, now we get to the good stuff, the fun stuff, the sausage making of what it means to put a room together. So I don't know, Jay, why don't you sort of mind meld with us here and kind of go through what you're thinking.
The fun thing for me about show houses is that I kind of get to design for myself. It's not, this, I would show this to a client too, but this is a study that I would love to go into every day, have Zoom calls at the desk, sit in the chair with my laptop and that sort of thing. In fact, the 2 vintage chairs that we're using are mine because I love them so much, and right now they're sitting in the front of my studio, so they're going to look great in the show house. So it's a study, and it has, the inspiration was kind of, I'm always about warm and cozy and inviting, and I was inspired by this artisan that's doing these really incredible inlaid wood cabinets. And so Willem Riquet, who's an incredible decorative painter that I've worked with for 25 years, he is doing a faux bois ceiling inspired by these cabinets that are inlaid wood. So it's all sorts of different kinds of inlaid wood that feels like it's been put up on the ceiling, it's been created and put up on the ceiling, and it's all his magical paint.
And it looks very realistic. I've seen this before. It looks like it's wood.
Yeah. I mean, you really are going, that will be the question that everybody has when they walk in the room, is that real wood on the ceiling? Because Willem Riquet is that good. So I'm excited about that. And we kind of built the room from there. The colors are a little bit neutral in the gray family, blues, that sort of thing. The fabrics are comfortable. In my work, I always want a room or a home to feel like it's been collected over time. Whether we're doing the entire thing or whether there are family heirloom pieces that we're using or that sort of thing. But so with that comes doing some new pieces. Like we've designed an ottoman that's going with our chairs, but also some older pieces, some vintage chairs by Guillaume and Chambron, French designers from the 1940s, 50s, 60s. So that's what gives it a little bit of that soulful feel. Terry St. John is one of the art pieces that we're using from Lisa Chadwick at Dolby Chadwick Gallery. All of those things create this sort of lived-in, comfortable, chic, creative vibe that you get out of this room.
Yeah, it's kind of a heritage kind of vibe.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
Like this is where you're putting some of your, heartfelt, beautiful pieces.
Absolutely.
Surround yourself.
Yeah. I want people to feel when they walk into this room like it's been there forever. Maybe somebody collected the Terry St. John 25 years ago, maybe the chairs or something you've had for 30 years, or your mother gave them to you when she, moved into a smaller house or something like that. So I love that kind of storytelling and that kind of creating a vibe in design.
Yeah, I love it. And so, talk a little bit about your color scheme here.
Sure.
Are these swaths of fabric or carpet? Or?
We're doing that. It's funny, the house had wall-to-wall carpet, and we thought that there was hardwood underneath it, but I like the idea of keeping it wall-to-wall carpet. It makes the room feel more expansive. It's kind of a long rectangular room. So we're doing a sisal. I love that sort of, earthy, organic feel that you get.
The weave is great.
I love that. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a plaid to it. The chairs that we're doing in the corner have this really fantastic nubby texture to it. That's going to be really good. We're working with Romo Fabrics. They're doing all of our fabrics for us. They've been so generous in lending, and they have such great textural feeling fabrics. I just love them.
Because you have the draperies too, so you will be doing sort of traditional.
Definitely doing traditional draperies. We've got 2 sides of the room has windows, and the windows are pretty big, and I love the sort of softening that draperies do. And I'm not a big swag and jabot kind of person. I'm more tailored draperies.
What is swag?
Big swags with silk and jabots.
From the top and the side, kind of it constricts.
Very sort of traditional, usually in silk, that sort of thing, which the living room in this house sort of lends itself to. But for the study, I really want it to be more tailored and simple and elegant. So you've got, nice pleated draperies and a 2 tones of fabric. The walls themselves are also going to be done by Willem Riquet. They're a lime paint. So it's a paint that's mixed with limestone dust, and it creates, it's like a plaster, but it goes on with a brush. So it has this really wonderful, deep texture to it.
And different hues? Does it shimmer in different lights?
It definitely has a depth to it.
Yeah.
That limestone pattern gives it that depth. It's going to be in kind of a light gray tone, so it's not going to have a lot of movement to it, but the line paint will give it that movement.
Yeah, give it a little bit of texture. Yeah. And then furniture placement, I mean, I see you kind of have it mapped out here.
Yeah, I kind of treated it like when you are, in a feng shui sense, you want your desk to be facing the door.
Right, when people come in.
Yeah, and so I like that, and I thought about, I want people to be able to circulate through the room too. It's something you have to think about when you're doing a show house.
Yeah.
So people come in, they see really the entire room. They see the ceiling, they see the desk that's sort of facing you. Yeah. The wonderful thing about this desk too is it has a bookcase literally on the front of it.
That's
so it's
great.
got this side of library feel to it immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I love that. The chairs are the two vintage chairs that we're using. They're big and they're cozy, and so you're going to see those right when you walk in as well. So it's really going to be, your eyes are going to be drawn to the ceiling, and then you're going to sort of take in the rest of the room as you kind of experience it.
And then the crown molding around the ceiling, like what's the idea there? Because you were going to do that originally in this style, but that went to the ceiling.
Yeah, the cove is still going to be faux bois, but we're simplifying it and making it look like it's a simple, like a simple oak paneling on the cove itself.
Got it.
Yeah.
Because it does have pretty nice thick crown molding, right?
Beautiful. It's got a beautiful cove ceiling. That's original.
Oh, it's cove as well.
It's coved as well.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So that'll be great.
Yeah.
Fantastic picture molding. Nice big.
Baseboard?
Thank you. Nice big baseboard at the bottom. Yeah. It's great.
Well, it has great proportions, this room. The windows are beautiful. Yeah. Like, the home just lends itself to a more substantial study, right? Yeah. It fits so well into the story of the home.
Yeah, absolutely. This is, a home is not complete without a study, I think, especially a home like this. And there really wasn't a specific study in this home. So I feel like this is really kind of pinpointing, okay, there needs to be this place where some work can get done, but it's a creative outlet as well. It's a place to relax and enjoy the evening. It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
escape the kids if you want to escape the kids.
Yeah, because you have the entertaining floor below you, and then you have the bedroom level where you have the study, right? So it's on your living level, which is nice. So you can just pop in, and it's fun because the people will. It's when they come upstairs, that'll be pretty much the first room they see.
Yeah. So there's a bedroom next to me that I think they'll either go into my room or they'll go into that room first, either one, and then they're connected. There's a door that connects them, and so it kind of takes you through the rest of the house. So it'll be great.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Well, I think next up is we'll go to the house with you at some point, and you can kind of give us a little bit of a tour at that time.
Yeah.
So
I want us to catch it when Willem's there doing his magic because it's so cool to see. So we'll make sure that works. Yeah.
That's a great idea. Yeah. Well, thank you, Jay. This has been so much fun. We could talk for hours. But I hope you all enjoyed meeting Jay, and we'll learn more as we go along. So
this has been great. I'm excited. Can't wait to get it installed and open the house.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Bye for now.